Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is well. I think we should start and then people can just join in as, as they come along. So for those who don't know me, my name is Tokwe Emaseka. I'm the founder of Women Impacting Nigeria. Today we have the great pleasure of Beatrice Pardo, who's going to be taking us on an exciting journey on how to grow our businesses digitally. So without further ado, I'm going to let Beatrice take over, introduce herself, and then we can get cracking.
Oh, thanks very much, Sophie, for the intro. And hello, everyone. Can you all see me okay and see the screen? You can pop it in the chat if you can't see or if you're having any problems with audio or anything. Yeah, I'm seeing yes, you can see. So, well, to introduce myself a little bit, as Sophie said, my name is Beatrice. I'm originally from Venezuela, but I'm living in the UK, in Manchester, since 2014, so nearly 6 years. Quite a big change from the tropical weather to the clouds in Manchester, but here we are. And then I've been working in digital e-commerce and just digital platforms since I finished uni, so more than 7 years now. So I wanted to share a couple of tips and insights that I've learned through my experience. Obviously, it gives more content now that we're in the current situation, with like brands adapting and how everyone is doing lots of great things digitally. So I've wrapped it up with a couple of tips to help you grow your business and give you some ideas. I also put some insights and examples of tools that you can use that are free to use online and hopefully help you grow your business even quicker and do it yourself. So before I start, I also wanted to thank Origi for the invite because it's through them that I'm helping the charity. So thanks very much, Jan and Gavi, for the invite. And then let's start now. So I'm going to go first through my first tip on how to grow the business. So the first of all is being visible. So making sure that your customers can find you. I think this is very important. And I've put in here as one of the tips to develop an SEO strategy, but I wanted to understand, and you can put in the chat, like, how much do you know from SEO strategy? Do you know what SEO means from 1 to 5? How much do you think like you know from SEO, or if you know what it means? So being 0, knowing nothing about SEO, and 5, being an SEO expert. If you want to put in the chat, just 0 to 5 on the numbers. I'll read you. Good. 2, 4. 2. Cool. So we've got a couple of answers mixed from 2 to 5 experts. So so I'll start. So SEO is mainly search engine optimization. So if you think, where do you go to look for a new brand? The answers might be, well, I just go on Google or on Bing, Yahoo, and I just type whatever you want. Let's say you're looking for a restaurant close to you, or you're looking to buy a new table for your house. You go online and you look for a particular word on any of these sites. So SEO helps your brand, your website, your business to appear in those results to your audience. So if you sell, and I'm going to talk through my experience with a bathroom company. So when you are buying a bathroom, then you start thinking like, well, first of all, how do I measure my bathroom to know which products do I need, and what type of bathroom do I want? So you start typing those words in SEO, and what you need to do as a brand is have these relevant words on your website so you are appearing in those results. So obviously there are tools to help, and one of them is the one I've put in the tools on the slide, which is Google Keyword Planner. So this is a free tool on Google, and then can help you know what people search the most. So let's say more people are interested on tables, and it's like, what size is the perfect table? And then you can see how many people monthly are looking for these things online. And then you start prioritizing what type of content do you put. Or maybe they don't call them tables, they call it something else. So in the bathroom example, for example, on the taps, I know in American English is faucets, in British English is taps. So it's which words you use. If you're in the UK, you will use taps for that page. If you're in the US, you will use faucets. So these tools are going to help you know how people search for your brand. The other good tool in here is Google My Business. So this is for physical location. So, and I had an example. I'm going to change this screen to show you what I'm referring to. So I had a look at this restaurant in Nigeria. So this thing you see in here, this is Google My Business. So that helps people that have like physical locations. If you have a store, a hair salon, a restaurant, all this information is search engine optimization. And basically you can update your information and make sure your clients, when they are looking for you, they're finding when is your opening time. One good feature that Google released since all the COVID-19 outbreak is that they have like special hours for this current time. So you can put if you have special hours, or if you're only doing delivery, or if you like it are completely closed. So this is very important for search engine optimization, mainly when you have a physical store. So that's a big part on the being visible. Then going into the next step, mobile is very, very important in digital marketing now, mainly because everyone is on mobile. Everyone has a smartphone. I was looking at some research from Hootsuite, and the stats in Nigeria are like 83% of web traffic is on mobile. So everyone is on a mobile phone. You need to make sure that your website works for mobile and is very, very fast to load, so people get all the information there. So sometimes we forget and think websites are just for laptops or desktop, but the reality is that most of the people is in there. And from this report, and a very good insight is that people in Nigeria spend 4.5 hours a day on their phones on internet. So we need to really think about mobile, and then how the business and the website can be perfect on mobile. A tool for this, and it's super handy, is the page speed insights. And I can share the links after with Topi to share with everyone in here, or with Jan. So you can have URLs to all these tools that I've put in here. So the page speed insight is a website, and then you just put the URL of your website, the link to your website, and it will tell you how fast it is and how you can make it faster or better. So it will tell you, one of the main things is like images. Sometimes when we put images on the website, they are super heavy, like super high resolution. And then just by compressing them and putting them on web quality, they increase a lot. I have a personal example where by just reducing the size of the images on the side, we reduce the speed by 20%. So instead of loading on 5 seconds, it jumped down to nearly 4. So those small things are really, really helpful. and also Google Analytics, which I'll probably talk through Google Analytics on the other tips as well, because it's so important. So Google Analytics will give you the insights on your website, so you can see like how is people accessing your website, if they're going more on mobile or more on desktop. Sometimes like people change devices as well, which is again going back to the bathroom example. People will start looking when you're like outside, not on these circumstances, we're all at home. But normally, like if you're outside, you look for something quickly on your mobile phone, but then if you want to see it with more detail, then you go to your desktop or laptop at home, and you'll just like want to see it in more detail. So it's understanding how the different devices work in different ways. The next one is a fun and creative one. So it's sharing valuable content. And I think nowadays, like, well, in this particular situation, sharing valuable content is key. I think the way that brands have been adapting to the situation now, it's all through content, and it's great to see how people are changing things. So how gyms are sharing like free trainings, or restaurants are like adapting to these things, and it's all done through content. One of the things on content is that you don't need to produce content 100% to just sell your brand. You can adapt it, and I've included here a rule that I particularly like, that is the 80-20 rule. That is where 80% of your content should be to inform, educate, and entertain your audience, and 20% just to promote your product. So let's see how these work in some particular examples. So I follow a brand in Venezuela. They sell bodysuits. They call it Ikai. Some of you might know the brand. So they focus on being authentic, being happy, and that's the core of their brand. So they sell bodysuits, but they also have a brand personality. And I just seen a post from there this morning that I think represents the brand very well. So they shared a playlist to be happy during this lockdown. So that doesn't necessarily go with selling a bodysuit, but it shows what the brand is. So one good thing is to bring your brand like as a person. Try to think when you're planning, and we'll go through these later in the tips. So when you're planning your digital strategy, try to think of your brand as a person, and then say, well, that person will be happy, will be super active, will be interested in eating very well. And then whenever you're creating content, think whether that person will do that thing or not. And from there, then start shaping your content and create that personality, because your audience will still be engaged, will still want to know from you, without you needing to just trying to sell the product. But the 20% is important as well, to like promote sales, discounts, special things. Lots of restaurants at this time, because the business are being like impacted by the COVID-19 outbreak. They have been like giving discounts to NHS, like NHS workers, which are doctors and nurses, using the UK as an example. So those like small things that you can do through valuable content. And just before doing this presentation, I was reading some examples. There's a lady that have a shop, and obviously she had to close the shop. She can't get people inside. So she decided to do Facebook Lives to show the inside of the store, and to just show what products she had in, and then receive the orders online for then people to pick up. So those like small things are different ways that you can use the platform to share content. The other way to share content is just to use it to generate leads, to generate like future customers and potential customers for your brand. So I put an example in here to create PDFs, and then using the keywords that we talk on the SEO tip to make sure there are keywords that your audience like, and then that you can create content. So an example of these could be, so again, going to the bathroom example, is like, how can you measure the perfect toilet you need in your bathroom, and then just downloading a guide that will show you like step by step everything you need to know before you buy these products. And people need to put their details. So once you're capturing their details, you know they're interested on your product. So then you can put them on an email list and keep sending them ideas how to decorate. Sorry, I'm just reading comments in here. In Venezuela, we have lots of products in Venezuela. I've talked about the example of the bodysuit, but I can talk about different examples in Venezuela as well. So on the PDF, going back to it, so these people that sign up to it, you can then put them on an email list and then send them other content as well. One of the things, and one of the tools I've put in here is a great one, and for whoever is looking to do like free courses online. HubSpot have like content certifications, and they are a series of courses, all free. And they show you through how to create this content, but not just to create it and share it, how to like bring back some leads that could be future customers for you. From there, and from capturing content, then create your VIP community. And just reward those people that are already your customers, but you want them to keep coming back. So keep them engaged, and create email lists, and give rewards to your loyal customers. So an example in here could be using the platform Origi. If you are a yoga teacher and you already had like content published there, and you already have people that have done one of your courses, have bought one of your courses from you, then you can ask them to refer you to a friend, and then give her an offer, and give the friend an offer. So that will make your customers your brand ambassadors. So they will be doing the marketing for you. They'll be helping you to promote your brand, also through email. So if you already had someone that downloaded the PDF that we talked before, then you can send them an email. Let's say the PDF was about the toilet. They already want a toilet, so then send them a specific offer for these products, and just make them feel special, because like we all love being feel special. So just by doing these type of things, knowing what your VIP communities are, will help grow your business. And so MailChimp is the tool I've put in here, and it's a free tool, and it's very easy to use. So because you don't need to know about lots of coding or anything, it's like very easy, drag and drop. There's a question in the chat about what other email can I use apart from MailChimp. There are loads of there's like .mailer, there are lots of other tools, but normally they are all like paid for. I think MailChimp is the easier and like most user friendly to use, but there are lots of tools available for email marketing. HubSpot has an email marketing as well. Then following on to the next tip, once we have the base cover, then we could also look at invest in the brand. So invest in your brand to expand the audiences you have created. So one of the important things in here is like, don't invest in it like when you're just starting. Like if you have a free no post on social, or if your website is not ready, like you've not properly launched it, don't invest in it yet. Like first, like build a solid base to give that first great impression to any new customers coming to you. This doesn't need to be expensive. You can start very small depending on the budget, and then you can do it through either Google Ads, or you can use platforms like Facebook and Instagram. One good thing, and an example I had in here, once I was tasked to like work with a client on, it was a plumber brand, so they sell very, very niche products, and like heating and kind of, it wasn't like a B2C, so it wasn't directly to consumer. The core audience of these was the installers, people that go to the houses and do like electricians or gas engineers. So one of the things we did on Facebook was just use a coupon code or use a special offer. So you can see the return, you can see how many people are claiming that offer. And you know that if you put that on your advert, anyone that's coming to you asking for that offer is because they saw your advert. And so that's a good way to like start investing small and proving if it's working for you. If it's not working, then trying something else. So it's all is a test and learn process. There's no specific rule, and what might work for one brand might not work for another. So it's always testing and learning. Following up, there's one important thing that is to maintain the content over time. Sometimes could be a bit frustrating because you might feel, oh, I've done this for a month now and I've not seen any changes. But visibility takes time. You need to keep working and creating your community, building your brand, and making sure you're always like aligned with what you want your brand to show, what you want your brand to tell your customers. So keep always that in mind. Be patient, and also plan in advance. This is key for success, to have in mind what you want to achieve. So what are your KPIs? What are your performance indicators? What will mean success for you? So let's say if I put a post and I get 20 likes, that's success for me. If you know that from the beginning, then when you start putting your post out, you know that anything that had more than 20 likes is good. So you want to do more of that and less of what's not giving you that 20 likes. And I put here a quote I really like, that is, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So it's very, very important to take some time at the beginning to think about what is my brand, what I was talking before about the brand personality. So how does my brand look? How would it be if it's a person? And then keep that consistent over time. And the plans could be super easy, and starting from a simple Excel sheet, or you can do a bit more complex planning tools like Trello or Asana to like project manage all your strategy. But it can be very simple. The important thing is just to take the time to be patient, and then just to keep going, so you get your customers used to the content that you're sharing and what your brands want to tell them, and keep them wanting to hear more from you. And finally, but not less important, is to mix it all up. You've heard me probably say a lot of things that tie with other tips, and it's because all the channels work together. There's no working in silo. So any learnings from social media could be valuable for your next blog post, or could give you more ideas to expand on a PDF guide. So if you are a restaurant and put a recipe out, and that post was super high engagement, you know, people are liking that. So maybe you want to expand and create a PDF guide on the recipe for that, and then just share with people so they subscribe to you. Then you can send them emails, and then you kind of have a full circle. So nothing works in silo. And the only way you can know what things are working is by analyzing. So analyzing the data you have is very important. So with what I talked about before on Google Analytics, you can see the different pages on your website. You can see how much time is people spending on a particular page, and then you say, oh, they are liking that page, so I want to do more of that, or they're not liking something else. Those type of things are super key for these. Someone raised a hand. I don't know if anyone had any questions. No, that's fine. I'll carry on. So yeah, analyzing, again, it's key. Also, the social media platforms have free analyzing tools that come with it. So if you have your business Instagram, you can see your insights, and then you can see how many people are liking a particular post. And you also want to see what time in the day. And then in Mixer, I had an example. So for example, with influencers, when you send, so if you sell water bottles, and then you send a water bottle to like different influencers, they all have a blog. So apart from them posting on social media, you want to ask them, can you put a link to my website on your blog? And then you have the social media, then you also are benefiting from SEO, and it's all looping together. So it's very important to think of it as a whole and not as like different channels. So I've wrapped it up, all the tips with some key takeaways. So from what we learned today, so one, be where your audience is. So look at platforms where your audience is using. Maybe LinkedIn is a platform for you, maybe it's not for your brand. It doesn't need to be expensive, and you can do it yourself. As you've seen, there's lots of free tools, lots of content available online that you can use, and it really doesn't need to be expensive. Learn from your analytics. I think I've said these lots of time, but I really love analytics, and I think that's what gives you all the clues you need to create more and to engage more with your audience. What works for you is unique. So as I said before, nothing works the same for all the brands. It might be that the 80-20 rule is not for your brand, but the only way you learn these is by testing and trying different things. And mix it up and give it time. Just make sure you are in the full loop, and give it time, be patient, and be constant with your content. I have a question on the chat. So how do you get to know your audience? So with analytics, so initially when you think on your brand, you create the idea of who my audience is. So you will have an idea in your head of what your audience is, but the only way you will know what your real audience is by then looking at your analytics. So if you thought initially you might have thought that your brand was for like 20, so females from 20 to 34. And then when you start posting your content out using your website, then you look at your analytics, and then you see that really the traffic you're getting on your website is people from 35 to 54. So that's what's telling you the truth. Who is coming to your website? Who is liking your post on Instagram or on Facebook? It's the analytics that is going to give you that key. You start with what you think and what you created for your brand, and then you need to shape it with what you're seeing really from the analytics. So I have another questions. Well, I'll go to the questions time, but yeah, I'll start reading things. So in mailing, sorry, I have the questions here. So in mailing, do you recommend for the brand to create different content for every list in MailChimp, for example? You can do. It depends on how big is your database and how much information you have. So you can, so for example, if you have email addresses, you have the city they are on, you have their age, and you have whether they're female or male, and you are a clothing brand. If you have a specific like jeans for men's offer, you can use that list segmented just for males and then just send them the offer. But it really depends on how much data you have in your database. But yeah, 100% I'd recommend you can tailor it to specific messages. Do you think reaching out to big influencers is essential to grow your business? It's a tricky one, but I don't think so. You can start very small, as I said, with the budget. And obviously, the bigger they are, the higher the database is. But I think more important than the number of people that follows them is the engagement. Look at the engagement. There might be that an influencer have 200,000 followers and only 1% of the follower base like or engage with their post. So that means they don't have an engaged community. So you can maybe pay her lots of money for the engagement because they are doing it based on the reach they have, but people is not liking their content. So for that, I'd say it's not how big they are, it's how the community engaged to them. What name is my brand? I don't have a brand. So I work on a marketing agency, mainly on digital channels. Previously, I have worked in an e-commerce on a bathroom company. That's why I give examples of bathrooms. But yeah, I work with different clients currently working in an agency. How can you translate traffic to real consumers on your website? Good question. So this is done on so basically you visualize it as a marketing funnel. So you have people at the top of the funnel that come to your website, but obviously you want them to convert. So you can retarget them by using the cookies available on the website. So if you know people came to a particular page and there was shampoos on that page, and then you can create a list on your analytics to say, I want people that visited the website shampoos but didn't convert to then see this advert. And that way will help you to like bring them down that funnel to convert. How does cookies work? So cookies are just a piece of code that is at the back of the website, and basically when a user goes to your site, there's a cookie assigned to that session, and it basically records their behavior during your during their visit to the site. So you can see whether they visit different pages, what type of pages they visited. So it's a unique piece that is, like, let's say, attached to you, but it's anonymous. It doesn't record any personal information. And there's a lot of information about cookies at the moment because there's a plan to like remove cookies and only leave like first party cookies. But yeah, that it is unknown. It's like a lot of things going on with cookies now, but basically a cookie is a unique piece of code that is put to your session. Do you have any tools to help find effective websites, hashtags in Spanish if possible? No, I can't, not the top of my head, but I can share some with the 2P or Gabby after to share with everyone. But I'll also say just looking at competitors always helps. So do your competitor research, see what other things they are using as well. That helps too. How can I get backlinks on my website? So backlinks, maybe like one of the examples that I gave before for the influencers could help you getting backlinks and also getting social reach. So if you are working with influencers and they have blogs, ask them to put a link on their website, and that will refer back to your website and will help you. Other options are through PR. So maybe you can do an infographics on something related to your brand. So one thing that worked for us in the bathroom company was, so we did a piece, an infographic about bathroom behaviors and like how men behave differently on the bathroom habits to the women, and then that was put on a very nice design infographic, was sent out to different journalists, magazines, press releases, etc. And the media will cover them with a backlink to your website. So through content will be the answer in there. Another way to get backlinks could be on content on your site, or for example magazines. The magazines, like the printed magazines, have their websites as well. So if they're featuring your products in the magazines, then you can have product features in there going back to your website. Cool. I think I've answered the question. Are there any other questions? No? Well, I think that's all the questions. So thanks everyone. It's been a pleasure sharing a bit of tips with you. If you have any questions, you can get in touch. You can get in touch with Jan or Gabby, or you can reach me. That's my Instagram handle if you want to DM me for any other questions. And thanks everyone for listening.
Okay, thank you so much. That was very informative. After the session, we're going to have some of your tips online so people can find them, and so people who weren't able to join the session can have access to them. But thank you so much, and we shall see everyone next week for some more of the Win Academy. So yeah, so if you have any more questions, you can send us an email at Women Impacting Nigeria, and or reach us on our social media platforms. You can also find Gabby. Have you put down your Beatrice? Sorry, have you put down your Instagram handle so people can find you?
Yeah, it's in the slide. I'll put it in the chat as well.
Okay, yeah. So she'll put down all her details in the chat. Origi's details as well. You can find. Gabby can put that in the chat. Awesome. So you can find everyone. So yes, guys, thank you so much. Thanks, Urigi.
Thanks very much, Sophie.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
See you guys next
Bye.
week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All my best, Sophie. Thank you.